It's been very disappointing. There's no doubt about that. I woke up this morning to this storm of sort of criticism, and it's something that we've dealt with quickly as a club. Wayne himself has offered his resignation to the chairman this afternoon, and that's been accepted. And it's a very sad end to what was a very, very good story.
You asked him to step down, did you?
Yes, we did. I think that the club were very disappointed in the way that we'd been portrayed from the 82nd minute onwards, and obviously we were very concerned with the implication that the club, or myself, or my assistant Ian Baird, anyone else had been involved in that decision making. It's clear in FA rules that you're not allowed to bet, and whether it was a fun bet or whatever it wasn't acceptable. And it's with a very heavy heart, because he's a good friend of mine, but I think the board felt they had no other choice.
And where does that leave the club, Paul?
As I said, it leaves the club disappointed.
Well, as
that's
far
for
as
sure.
the FA is concerned, and as far as the Gambling Commission is concerned, presumably those investigations will continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the reasons that the chairman and the board have made such a clear, strong decision is that we have to distance ourselves from what happened last night. As a club, we're known to be an outstanding club for our values and our ethics. And I think we've been applauded for the last 2-3 months of how we've dealt with every situation. But unfortunately, what happened last night wasn't the face of our football club. And a mistake's been made. It's an honest mistake, but the mistake has huge implications. And of course, we've been contacted by the FA, the Betting Commission, and it's been a very sobering morning, Kate, to be fair.
I'm sure that's true, Paul. What's the FA said to you? What's the Betting Commission said to you?
At the moment, it's early. It's obviously early days, and it's by way of emails and other bits and pieces. But unfortunately, it's worldwide. This news this morning, and for me, it's taken the gloss off of my players' performances, and it's gone on to something which it shouldn't have gone on to. And I feel very sorry for the players in many regards that spotlight's been taken away from them. But also, we do things very professionally at the club within the budget that we've got. And, the reality is that what happened last night didn't make us look very professional. It didn't certainly make myself and Ian Baird look particularly good. And as I said, it was an honest error, but one that, has had quite sad ramifications.
Why did he do it? I mean, is he daft? Does he normally eat a pie at half-time? What's going on?
No, I think Wayne's been swept along with what's happened in this last 3 or 4 weeks since the camera got him at the Leeds United game. It's obviously gone into another world in terms of what he's used to. I think he's been ill-advised at times, and he's just made a very genuine mistake. And he's been heavily criticised in the papers this morning. And for someone, if you knew him, really is such a lovely, lovely man. But he's been swept along, and his judgment obviously wasn't great last night, and he's obviously going to pay the price for that, I think.
Did you see him eating this pie, Dave? Did you think, what are you doing? I might be calling you to go on.
No, the first I knew about it was when I was taken up to the written press after the game, and one of the first questions I was asked by the Daily Telegraph, I think, was, what was my view of it? And I wasn't aware at that point, and I wasn't aware really until I started to make my way home from the club.
OK. What's going to happen to Wayne, do you think? I mean, he's not going to get another gig somewhere else, is he?
I think it's very early days for Wayne at the moment. As I said, he's a friend of mine, so the reality is that he's going to have to reflect on where he's at over these next few days. He did a fantastic job for the football club, but unfortunately, if any of us had put ourselves into Wayne's position last night, then you make your position pretty much untenable. And I'd include myself in that. I think if I'd been party to the decision, if Wayne had spoken to me and said this is what he thought he was going to do, obviously I'd have advised him very, very differently. But unfortunately, he chose not to speak to myself or the chairman or anyone as to what was happening. And he's put himself in a very invidious position.
Yeah. Have you spoken to him since he got sacked? I believe he's been in tears.
Yes, yeah, I spoke to him this afternoon. He's absolutely devastated. As you said, tears down the phone this afternoon. And there's no joy or there's nothing good coming out of this particular situation for him. A situation that had been such good fun in virtually every aspect up until what happened last night.
But let's end on a positive, Paul. The other lads did themselves proud last night.
Yeah, I thought every single one of my players were redlining it last night. I thought that our organisation, our shape, great credit as well to the coaching staff who set that up on Saturday, because that's the only session that we had, because Thursday's media day, open day, meant that we couldn't even train. So that was the players taking on board within an hour and a half session of what we wanted from them. I think we did the National League proud as well. I think we very much followed up Lincoln's unbelievable win against Burley, which gave us all a massive boost, knowing that Lincoln could put on that type of performance and that we could try and match it. And in many ways we did. Would have been lovely if we'd scored the goal when Rory hit the bar, or when we were 1-0 down and Jamie's missed the header. At 1-1, that would have put us in with a real chance of getting something. But what I would say is that was our cup final yesterday. I am pleased, if I'm being honest, that this run's over, because we need to get back to the real world of non-league football, which is what we are, in the Vanarama National League, and we need to make sure we stay up. And at the moment, we need to look over our shoulders. Lincoln City and Danny and Nick are going to have the best day of their lives, and I just can't wait for them to experience what we experienced last night. And okay. I think, to be fair, both clubs, Sutton Utd and Lincoln, have given the FA Cup something to talk about this year, because it was going to be a derided competition otherwise. And I think it's us and Lincoln that have given the competition a real boost this year, and have shown that most people, 99% of people, care about the FA Cup. It's just the 1% at the very top, but there's 99% of us that love this competition. And where else in the world could you get the coverage that we've had and Lincoln have had? Unless it was in the FA Cup. It's a very, very special competition. Well,
as an Arsenal fan, your boys did you proud last night. Well done, Paul, and we appreciate you taking the time to speak to us on Sky News. Thank you.